BoatOat made Boat call him daddy in front of everyone. BoatOat, the moment that left everyone speechless. Why did Oat suddenly order Boat to say those words, in front of everyone? That was the question that froze an entire studio audience and sent social media spiraling into chaos. It happened during a fan event, a packed hall, blinding lights, cameras rolling from every direction. What was supposed to be a playful segment between the two stars instantly turned into one of the most uncomfortable moments of their partnership. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update in the world of your favorite celebrities. The moment that shook the room. The host had just finished a light-hearted game. Fans were laughing, Boat was smiling, and Oat, unusually energetic, kept pushing the jokes further. Then, out of nowhere, he leaned toward Boat with a grin that was just a little too sharp and said, "Say it. Call me the one who leads you." At first, fans thought it was a joke. Just another over-the-top BL-style tease. But the tone was wrong. The silence was wrong. Even Boat's face changed, just slightly, but enough for everyone to feel it. The host tried to laugh it off. But Oat didn't drop it. "Say it," he repeated. "Show them you follow me." The air tightened. The room felt suddenly small. Thousands watching, in person and online, held their breath. Boat didn't speak. He just stared at the floor, the microphone trembling a little in his hand. Fans react immediately online. The clip went viral within minutes. Some were furious. Some were confused. Some insisted it was a misunderstanding. But one comment captured the atmosphere perfectly: this wasn't playful. This was pressure. People replayed the clip over and over, analyzing every detail: the shift in Boat's smile, the stiffness in his shoulders, the way staff members in the background exchanged worried glances. The tension that nobody saw coming. What the audience didn't know was what had happened backstage earlier that day. Sources later revealed that Oat was already stressed, exhausted from rehearsals, worried about ongoing controversies, and under extreme pressure from both fans and the company. Boat, as always, tried to steady him. That was their dynamic, one fiery, one calm. But something snapped on that stage. Not anger. Not malice. Just a moment where the weight of everything came crashing down at the wrong time, in the wrong place. Boat's response as the clip spread, Boat finally addressed it on a live stream the next day. His voice was quiet. Measured. But every word felt heavy. "I know everyone is worried. Please don't attack him. Sometimes people say things they don't mean. Especially when the pressure gets too much." He didn't blame Oat. He didn't avoid the question. He just protected him, the same way he always has. And that only made fans more emotional. OAT's apology. Hours later, Oat posted a message: "I crossed a line. I didn't realize it at the moment, but I made someone I care about uncomfortable. I'm learning, and I'm sorry." The industry rarely sees apologies this direct. And the fans, still shaken, slowly softened. Because beneath all the chaos, what people witnessed wasn't arrogance. It was insecurity. Pressure. Fear of losing a partnership that built both their careers. The silence after the storm. For now, the two have retreated from public events, letting time cool the fire. But one thing is clear: this incident revealed a part of their dynamic the public had never seen before, not scripted, not staged, but painfully human. And fans are left wondering, what happens next? Can a bond built under so much pressure truly survive the impact of one moment that went too far? The moment the event ended, the lights dimmed, and the fans filed out, a different story unfolded behind the stage curtains, a story no camera was allowed to see. Because while the public saw only a 10-second clip, the truth lived in the silence that followed. And behind closed doors, that silence was deafening. The walk backstage staff members later described the scene as painfully quiet. Boat walked ahead, shoulders tense, his hands clasped tightly around the microphone he had forgotten to return. Oat followed behind, slower, eyes dark with the weight of his own actions. Nobody dared approach them. Even the manager, usually so quick to smooth conflicts, kept a distance. It wasn't anger that filled the space, it was disappointment, confusion, and something deeper. Something neither of them knew how to name. Inside the green room, Boat sat down first. Not speaking. Not crying. Just staring at the table, trying to process what had just happened. Oat stood by the door. He opened his mouth once, twice, trying to speak, but nothing came out. The silence stretched so long that a crew member quietly slipped out and closed the door behind them, giving the two the privacy they desperately needed. When OAT finally spoke, he didn't come in with excuses. He didn't try to laugh it off. His voice was barely above a whisper. Boat. I'm sorry. Boat didn't answer. So Oat continued. I don't know why I said that. I shouldn't have put you in that position. I pushed too far. Still, Boat was silent, not out of anger, but because he needed to gather the right words. Finally, he exhaled slowly. Do you know how it felt? Oat's breath caught. Boat continued, steady but tired. It wasn't a game. Not to me. Not in that moment. It felt like pressure. In front of everyone. The truth hung between them like a blade. Oat nodded, swallowing hard. I know. And I hate that I made you feel that way. The moment that broke OAT for the first time that day, Oat looked genuinely shaken, not from backlash, not from criticism, but from the thought that he had hurt the one person who always defended him. He sat down across from Boat, elbows on his knees, head in his hands. When he finally spoke again, his voice trembled. I'm scared, Boat. Everything feels like it's falling apart. The fans. The rumors. My image. I don't know who I'm supposed to be anymore. That was the truth he had been hiding since the beginning. All the jokes. All the bravado. All the teasing. They had been nothing more than a shield. Boat's response, the moment of grace. Boat looked at him for a long moment. Not with anger. Not with frustration. But with the quiet calm that defined him. He finally placed the microphone down and said, then tell me next time. Don't perform it on stage. Tell me here. Tell me privately. Oat lifted his head. I didn't want to burden you. Boat shook his head slowly. We're partners. If you're struggling, I'm supposed to know. But you can't pull me into the spiral. Not like that. The message was firm, but gentle. A boundary. A reminder. A lifeline. The hand that reached first. Oat hesitated, then reached out, slowly, as if afraid Boat would pull away. Boat didn't. They sat there for a long moment, hands clasped between them, not as performers, not as fan service icons, but simply two young men trying to hold on to something real in an industry that never stops taking. It wasn't reconciliation. Not yet. But it was a start. The agreement they made that night before leaving the room, they came to a quiet understanding, no forced jokes. No pressure on stage. No moments created out of panic or insecurity. From now on, only honesty. Only real teamwork. Only boundaries that protected both of them. And most importantly, if you're hurting, Boat told him, say it before the world sees it. Oat nodded, eyes red but determined. I will. I promise. The walk out. When they stepped out of the room together, the staff immediately sensed the shift. They weren't smiling. They weren't joking. But something had stabilized, something essential. Boat walked beside Oat, not behind him. Oat stayed close, not out of possession, but out of gratitude. And for the first time that day, the two looked like a team again. What the world doesn't know, what fans saw online, was a controversy. What the industry whispered about was a scandal. But what really happened was something far more human, two people confronting pressure. Fear. Mistakes. And the fragile bond that fame constantly threatens to break. Because partnerships don't fall apart in a single moment, they fall apart when silence becomes bigger than the truth. And that night, Boat and Oat refused to let silence win.